and this side is called the major segment. So let me shade this side for you to see. So this is what we term as the minor segment, and this side is the major segment. Now the same way, if we come to the first diagram, this side is major and this side is minor. So we can also shade this side and use this, and then this for the minor. Okay. Now, you also notice that this chord here has also divided the circumference. Remember, I've just explained circumference to you, that it is the thick black edge or the boundaries of the circle. So you realize that this CD has also cut off the circumference into two portions, or has divided the circumference into two portions. We have this side. Let me use arrow to indicate that from this side all the way to this side. So this portion. And we also have this side. We call this one's arcs. So this one is an arc. And this is also an arc. Now, because this is smaller, if you take a look at this, because this is smaller, we call this a minor arc. And because this is bigger, we call this the major arc. The major arc. So what you have to put at the back of your mind is that anytime there is a chord in a circle, the chord performs two main functions. Anytime you have a chord in a circle, it performs two main functions. One, it will divide a circle into segments, as you are seeing. It will divide a circle into segments. This one also, look at the chord AB here. The chord AB has divided a circle into segments, this segment and this segment. The smaller side is called the minor segment. The smaller side, minor segment. The bigger side is called major segment. The same thing here. This chord CD has divided a circle into two. Smaller side, minor segment, major side. The bigger side, major segment. Also, it has cut the circumference also into two. The circumference, the boundaries. It has cut the circumference into two. So we have this side and then this side. Now, because this arc here is smaller, we call this one an arc. And because it is smaller, we call that minor arc. Minor arc. And because this is bigger, we call this major arc. So this one here is the minor arc. And this side is the major arc. So a chord, anytime you have a chord in a circle, always put it at the back of your head that you will always have two things associated with a chord. One, the chord is going to divide the circle into segments for you. Two, it is going to cut the circumference into two so that you can have a minor arc and then a major arc. Minor arc, major arc. So on that note, let's define an arc. Let's define an arc. Okay, let me continue here. So that will be the fourth definition, arc. Number 4, arc. So let's look at the definition for arc. An arc is a portion. An arc is a portion of the circumference of a circle. An arc is a portion of the circumference of a circle. An arc is a portion of the circumference of a circle. So, for the last time, let me introduce a chord into this diagram. Let me call this chord XY. Now, XY is a chord because it is joining the point X to the point Y. So, XY is a chord. Now, let's assume this is the center. We see this chord XY, one has divided the circumference into two. This is the circumference, the edge. You realize they're divided into two. We have this side, and then also we have this side. So we are saying because it has cut off a portion of the circumference, that portion of the circumference is referred to as an arc. So anytime you cut a portion of the circumference of a circle away, you obtain what we call an arc. Now you realize this is smaller than this. So because this side is smaller, we call this minor arc. And because this side is bigger, we term this as the major arc. Again, we are saying this side is called a segment. And this side is also another segment. But because this side is bigger, this portion is major segment, major. And this being smaller, minor segment. So the chord will always divide a circle into segments, major segment, minor segment, and it will divide the circumference also into arcs. Minor arc and then major arc. Now let's look at the fifth definition. Radius. Radius. The radius of a circle, is the common distance. The radius of a circle is a common distance from the center, a common distance from the center of the circle. The radius of a circle is the common distance from the center of the circle to any point on the circumference. To any point on the circumference. Assuming this is the center of the circle, let me call the center, let me indicate with a variable, so let me call that maybe O. O. Now, from the definition, we are saying that a radius is a straight line from the point O to any point on this circumference, any point, any straight line that you draw from this side to touch any of these boundaries is what we call the radius. So the radius does not have a common position. It can be anywhere. So far as it's a straight line from the center to any point on this circumference, we call it radius. So the radius is the straight line from the center to any point on the circumference. So let me draw a straight line from the center to this point. Now let me call this point, let's say X. Then the line OX is called a radius. It is a radius because it is a straight line from the center to any point on the circumference. To any point. It can be from the center to this point. We say radius. It can be from the center to this point. It is also called radius. So far as it's a straight line from the center to the circumference of the circle. Note, the radius is half the diameter. The radius is half the diameter. Let me write that on the board. The radius is half the diameter. The radius is half the diameter. So that will take us to our next definition. We are going to ask ourselves, what is a diameter? If we are saying the radius, this line here is half of the diameter, then what is a diameter? So we are going to define diameter, or we are going to explain what a diameter is. The diameter is a type of chord. The diameter is a type of chord which passes through the circumference of a circle. The diameter is a type of chord which passes through the center of a circle. The diameter is a type of chord which passes through the center of a circle. Okay, so let me use the diagram to explain a diameter to you. Now, you remember we've explained what a chord is already. We explained that a chord will always join 2 points on the circumference of a circle. A chord always joins 2 points. But by the definition for a diameter, they are saying that a diameter is a type of chord. But the only difference is that the diameter passes through the center of the circle. So if you have a straight line which is joining 2 points on the circumference of a circle, and that straight line passes through the center of the circle, then that line is termed as a diameter. So it means that the diameter is also a type of chord. The only difference is that the diameter passes through the center of the circle. So let me clean this diagram. Let me put my center here. Now let's consider this line. Now let's look at the line PQ. Now if you are looking at the line PQ, you realize P is a point on the circle and Q is also a point on the circle. So the line that will join P and Q together, the line that joins P and Q together, remember that we said a line which joins 2 points is called a chord. So the line joining P and Q together, that line is supposed to be a chord. However, because it is passing through the center, the name now changes to what? A diameter. So that's why we say the diameter is what? A type of chord. So when the chord passes through the center, we change the name from chord to diameter. So the diameter is a type of chord. So the diameter itself is a chord. So this one here is what we term as a diameter. So PQ is the diameter. PQ is the diameter. So the diameter is a chord, just that it is passing through the center. Again, if we are looking at the line XY, the line which joins the point X to the point Y, that line is called a chord. We've learned on that because it's joining 2 points on the circumference. However, you realize that that line is passing through the center of the circle. It is passing through the center O. So because XY passes through O, XY is now called a diameter because it passes through the center of the circle. So the diameter is a straight line which passes through the center of a circle. Now you know that I told you that note that the radius is half of the diameter. Now let's explain the reason why we are saying the radius is half of the diameter. You recall that from the definition of a radius, we said that the radius is a straight line from the center of the circle to any point on the circumference. A straight line from the center to any point on the circumference. So if you are looking at the center here, this is center O. From O to Y, the name of the line joining the point O to the point Y is a radius. Again, you realize that the line also joining point O to point X, these 2 points, this line is also called a radius. So you realize that OY here is half of the length XY, or is half of the line XY. It's exactly half. So from O to Y, this line OY here is half of the total line XY. So that is why we say that the radius is half of the diameter. So it is half of the diameter. The same way, if you look at the line OX, this OX here is exactly half the line XY.